Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Now, I know I said I was only going to upload on Saturdays and Sundays, or one of those 2 days every week. Now, recently, or actually the day I'm filming this video, I got 3 new decks of cards come in the mail. So I thought for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I would show you each deck and then show you a trick to go along with it. So let's do today, Friday, for the first deck. Now tomorrow, Saturday, will be the next deck, and then Sunday will be the last deck. So for Saturday and Sunday, I might break it up. So I might do the trick first, and then the deck review, and then the tutorial. Or I might do the trick first, and then the deck review. I might switch it up, I don't know. But for this video, we're going to be doing the deck review first, and then the trick. So without further ado, let's get into the trick. Now this video is going to be really long, so actually let's get into the deck review. My bad there. So the deck I have is the Bicycle US President's deck. So as you can see on the front of the box, it says Bicycle US President's Playing Cards. You can see the White House there, the American flag, and you can see the rest of the design. Now this is actually an embossed or raised deck, so this front design isn't flat, it's a little raised, there's a little texture to it. On the side it says Air Cushion Finish, and the Statue of Liberty is there. And on the other side, it says Made in the USA, and the Statue of Liberty is there. So both sides are the same, just different words. And then the bottom is just bar copy, add copy stuff. And then on the bottom, or the back, is actually the back design. Now I'm going to take the sticker off and show you that last. So here's the back design. Now these are the back of the cards. So you can pause the video and you can look at this. But you have the Capitol building, you have the Statue of Liberty, you have the American flag, the bald eagle, all of that. So this will be the back design of the cards. And the top says US Presidents, and it doesn't have the Statue of Liberty. Now here's the little sticker. It is a red sticker on top and blue on the bottom. Red for Republicans, blue for Democrats. And it says U.S. presidents. So it has an elephant, which is the Republican. Then a donkey, which is the Democrats. And I'll let you see that. How each of them are different colors, but they're swapped. So they're both red and blue, but just the colors are swapped. Now, if we open up the flap here, it just talks about some ad copy, so nothing to worry about there. Now, the inside of the box is going to be different. So, the first thing you're going to notice is the tuck flaps. These are the same tuck flaps, it's just the donkey, so the Democrat symbol, which is actually really interesting, considering you have a Democratic candidate that won the presidency. So I don't know if this was made during the debates or before the debates, but that's really cool because it could have been the elephant, but they chose the donkey, and that's the Democrat, and that's our current president, a Democrat. So that's really cool. Now on the inside of the box is the American flag. Might be hard to see, so I'm gonna try. Bear with me here to bring my light over. Don't think that works, really. So, it's the I think you can see that right there. So on one side, it's the American flag, if you hold it like this. So all 50 stars and everything, which is really cool. Then on the other side, it's just pure black. So, that was the box right there. Now, getting into the cards, what we have is simple. Now, I said the back design is the same as the back of the box, so I'm not going to be going over in depth about it, so you can pause the video and you can look at that. But it's just the back of the box. Now you're going to get an ad card here for all the bicycle social medias. The next ad card actually tells you about the deck. So 44 presidents. So that would be up to Obama. And he is a Democrat, so that's the donkey. So it wasn't 45, it was 44. So that's really cool there too. Now the Jokers are really cool. And the interesting about the Jokers is I actually uploaded a trick using this type of thing for the Jokers. You'll see what I mean. So here's the Joker, Uncle Sam. You can pause the video and look at him. But then you get this guy right here. Now he has a 6 of hearts. If you remembered, for the blue Bloodline Empires deck, I uploaded a trick involving the 7 of diamonds in the Joker. And I said you can apply that to different decks, like the 6 of spades and the Queen of spades. And other cards in the deck. Well, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So if you go to that video, if I remember, I will link it down below. But you can take out the 6 of hearts and this Joker and use these for a trick, okay? So check the description. I'm going to try to remember to put it down there. And now let's get into the rest of the cards. I'm not going to go in depth, because I don't want this video to be really long, because we have the trick we have to do. But essentially, here's each card for you. So, yeah, let's start this way. So, we get the Ace of Spades with the Statue of Liberty. I'll just go through these, and you can pause the video for each one and look at them. And I'm not going to talk, so here we go. And I don't know if you can read on the ad card, but they put the 4 most famous first ladies. So if you think about the 4 most famous presidents, well, their wives are going to be in here. So I just wanted to add that in too. So here's something. So when we got to Mary Todd Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln was right after her. Now that we're at Martha Washington, George Washington is right after her. So in case you couldn't figure it out, husband and wife, Mary Todd Lincoln and Abe Lincoln, and Martha and George, Mary and wife, or husband and wife. So in case you couldn't tell, that's why they're right next to each other. So Thomas and Martha. And then we have one more first lady and president. Notice each of the aces, too, how each of them are different. So here's the last president and first lady. So Teddy Roosevelt and who is this? Edith Roosevelt. So 44, so there's Obama. So he must have been in office when they were making this deck, or maybe he was out of office. I don't know. But as you can see, each card is really good, and I believe I read up somewhere that these are hand-drawn. So if these are hand-drawn, then someone's really good at their job here. For how each detail is exactly right. It looks just like them. So there was the deck. Now we will get into how it handles and everything, but first I need a drink or my voice will give out. Okay, so we will get into how it handles during the trick, but I will give it one quick spread just so you can see. So that was the deck. This is the spread. Let's get into the trick. Now, I'm going to teach you 3 to 4 ways to do this. I believe 3 ways. I'm not going to teach you the 4th way. And I will explain why when we get into the tutorial for the trick. So, without further ado, here we go. I can hand the deck over to the spectator, and they can give it a shuffle. After they're done giving the deck a shuffle, I would advise them to take out any card that they would like. Let's say that one. Now I'm going to show this to you, and here's the cool thing. You can either remember the card itself, so the number and the suit, or you can remember the president. Now the presidents are actually on each card, as you saw. So Chester Arthur, James Garfield, right there. Rutherford B. Hayes. You just need to remember one of them. So here's the card. I'm not looking. Okay, so we're going to take your card and we're going to lose it somewhere into the middle of the deck here. Now keep in mind these are new, so they're a bit slippery here, but I think I got this. Okay, so now with that shuffle, that means your card shouldn't be on top, or actually on the bottom, and it shouldn't be on top either, the 10 of clubs. So now here's all we're gonna do. I'm going to get the spectator to go ahead and go through the deck and just make sure their card is in here, okay? So I'm going to turn around. Let's say you go through and you confirm your card is in here. So let's say they say, yes, my card is in there. So now all I'm going to do is memorize the order of this deck, and I'm going to see if I can tell which card is yours, okay? So I just memorized the order here. So we go through. Okay, I think I got it. So I'm going to go through here. And when I think I've come to your card, I will leave it aside. Okay, so that's what I will do. So let's start going through here. Okay, so I think we passed your card. So what we're going to do is back up here. And we're going to start again. I think it was somewhere around here. I'm going to have a feeling it's somewhere around here. Okay, so I think I know what your card is. So the first time ever, I would ask the spectator to say their card out loud. So let's say they say their card out loud. And I would reach in and pull out the Franklin Pierce, the 3 of diamonds. Okay, so that's the trick. So basically, you pull out the card and the spectator confirms whether or not it's their card. So let's learn how to do this. So, I was watching a Million Card Tricks recent upload of Memorize a Deck. So basically, it's a really complicated trick where you have to know your math really good. So like 9 plus 7, 3 plus 4, 6 plus 8, that sort of stuff. And you have to do it in your head, and you have to keep track of that number. And then you have to subtract it by a certain number, and then you have to find the suit, and it's really complicated. So I sat down and I was thinking, how can we do this? Now, and then I remembered a trick I used to always do at school. Now, yes, this trick may look familiar to scam schools, Memorize a Deck, but there's a few issues I have with that trick, which I will go over. So I came up with 2 ways to do this. I'll teach all 3 ways, or 4. And without further ado, let's get into this. It's going to be a really long video, so sit back and make sure you are ready to learn this. So, basically, you don't need 52 cards for the ways I'm going to show you. So I'm going to teach you the way I did it first. It's really simple. So essentially, the deck gets shuffled and you get a card selected. Now, if you're going to memorize a deck, you're not going to look at their selection, okay? So, in this case, we have the 4 of Hearts, or Richard Nixon, okay? So, 4 of Hearts. Now, what I do with this 4 of Hearts is I need to get a peek on the 4 of Hearts. So, that's simple. All I do is I take the 4, I leave it on top, and I do a false overhand shuffle. So I hold the deck like this, middle ring pinky, index here, and thumb on the side. I might teach a full video on this, but for now I'm not gonna. I'm gonna throw over about half, so you can let go about half. And it's really up to you. I peel down the next card, but you don't have to. You can use your thumb and slide back that card. But essentially, when you slide back one of the 2 cards, you're going to be shuffling the deck. And then you'll have something like this. So a card sticking out. You're going to press down and in on that card, and you're going to have a break. And now from this break, you can shuffle all of the cards. Okay? And when you don't have the break anymore, so your thumb can move freely, you throw that on top, and that keeps their card on top. Now, I will be teaching different ways throughout the video to do this. So if you're a beginner, don't worry, just stick around. Now, once you have that 4 on top, you're going to do that overhand shuffle again. But instead, you're going to peel off 1 card, which is theirs, and shuffle the rest on top. And notice how I keep it messy. So if you want to do a retention shuffle, all 4 of your fingers are on the back. Your thumb's right here, take some out of the middle, and you shuffle them. Once it's messy like this, I come over, and essentially I tilt my hand, and my index finger goes on the bottom, my 3 fingers on the side, and my thumb on the other side. I'm going to turn it like this and square it up. But in the motion of doing that, I now peek at their 4 of Hearts, okay? So you have their card right here. You're going to do the shuffle. Now I just took the next card and I out-jogged it. And then I pushed up and then I shuffled. But you can do whatever you would like. Now I'm going to do the little square up. Once you have this, all I do is I just continue shuffling it, losing it in the middle. Now, after that, you have the spectator go through the deck and make sure their card is still in there. Now, you know you have the Four of Hearts. So all I did was I just dealt down a bunch of cards until I got past the Four of Hearts, but made it look like I was memorizing the deck. You're really not. You're just looking out for their selection. So I went a few cards more, and then I got this feeling that I passed their card. So I came back and I made sure to take their card and a few other cards with it, okay? And then I dealt again, but this time I put down a few more cards on top of it. Then I came back again, and I'm left with their card sticking out. So then I say, okay, I think for the first time ever, your card is the Four of Hearts. And I ask them if that was it, and they'll say yes. So that's one way you can memorize the deck and find their card. Here's another way you can do it. Now this is the way Scam School did it, and I will tell you right now why I have a problem with it. Or actually, you'll see during the tutorial here. I'm not going to do a performance. So they're going to get a card selected, and you're not going to look at it. In this case, the Queen of Clubs. Now, the way I just showed you how to do it, that's how I now do it in place of this way I'm going to show you. So originally how this was done is that they'll have a card, Queen of Clubs, and you have to remember the top and bottom card. In this case, the Seven of Hearts and the Five of Hearts. So that's when I said, you know what? I'm just gonna get a peek at the card and then go on with the trick, okay? So now once you get that peek at their card, you're gonna swing cut the deck, or you can leave the deck on the table. It's up to you, okay? So they place their card on top. You want them to cut somewhere around a quarter to half, okay? And there's a reason why. Let's say they cut here. Well, that's fine. They can complete the cut. Now they can continue cutting the deck, and they can do this all day. Now, after that, you're gonna do a riffle shuffle. So make sure you know how to do a riffle shuffle. If you don't know how to do it, you're gonna go right into the deck memorization part. But if you do know how to do a riffle shuffle, or your spectator does, make sure they do it. So in one hand I have a quarter of the deck, and in the other hand I have around half. You're gonna shuffle these, and you're going to give around 1 to 2 shuffles, no more. Let me show you why. So if we go through here, and you remember in the Seven of Hearts and the Five of Hearts, so if we look for those two cards, you'll see right in between is one card, and that's their Queen of Clubs. So then you would go through with memorizing the deck. So you would memorize the deck, turn around, have them take their card out, place in a different position, and make sure to arrange the deck nice so it looks like you can't tell where they took their card out at. So they do that, you turn back around, you go to your 7 and 5, you notice, because you remember that the Queen was there, it's not there. So you go over it and you find the Queen of Clubs, and you can reveal it just like that. Okay? So that was if you did it with one shuffle, and you did the shuffle right. So you had a quarter of the deck. So now let's say we do this another shuffle, okay? So if we go through here, well, here's the Five of Hearts, here's the Seven of Hearts. So now, because you did 2 shuffles, you have to remember 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, okay? So that's why I do 1 shuffle with the right setup for the deck. So in this case, you would have to remember the Jack of Diamonds, the Queen of Clubs, the 8 of Spades, and the 8 of Hearts. Okay, but let's say you're really gonna shuffle the deck and you forget or your spectator doesn't follow your directions, stuff happens, and they take, maybe they mess up the shuffle, who knows? They take half and half, and they shuffle these. Well, now, here's what you run the risk of. So if we take the 5 and the 7, you're good, you have one card there. That's perfect. Okay, so you go on with the trick. Let's say you give it another shuffle. Okay, now you go through and you look for that 7 or the 5. Here's the 5 and here's the 7. Okay, you're good, you have 3 cards. The reason you don't want to do half of the deck is, I kid you not, when I did this during school and I spread out the cards to memorize the deck, I kid you not, I had 15 cards in between the 2 key cards. So I had to go through and remember 15 cards in a short amount of time. It was not good at all. So that's why you want to make sure you have about a quarter of the deck and you shuffle it right and you do it only once. And then you go on with the trick. Here's the last way for how to do the trick. I was thinking about how would a beginner and intermediate to advanced want to do this, but they don't know how to control cards any. Well, I thought, well, why not they force a card? So here's what I came up with. So they're going to take a card. You're not going to look at it. In this case, the 10 of diamonds. And what you're going to have to do, because you took out the 10 of diamonds, you're going to have to do a force, and you have to remember that card. So this is for the beginners out there. 2 forces I'm going to teach you here. Now, I have a few forces on my channel, but I might upload a few more. So the first force you could do is the cross-cut force. Probably the easiest force out there. So you have the deck on the table, you have the spectator cut about half, it doesn't matter. Take the other half and place it on top. It creates time delay. You talk about the trick, you talk about something else, you do whatever you want, but you want to avert their gaze away from the deck, basically. You don't want them paying attention to this, because you're going to make this seem like this is where they cut to. So you're talking to them, and then you both turn back to here. You say, here, I'm going to give you the card you cut to. If you do this right, with the right amount of misdirection, they're not going to remember this is the card that was on top. So they take their card and they remember it. And if you want to do a million card tricks, what he did was he had them leave their card right on the table. Okay, or they actually, yeah, he had them leave their card on the table. And then you're going to go through the whole deck and memorize it. You're not memorizing it. You know their card is the 10 of diamonds. So you go through and you make it look like you memorized it. Now you have them take their card and place it somewhere in the deck. Now you go back through and you memorize the deck again. But essentially when you get to around their card, so we know it's right here, you're going to do a little acting. So you might go back a few, you might deal a few more. Well, eventually you're going to reveal that their card is the 10 of diamonds. That's one force you could do. Here's another force. So let's say we take out the 10 of spades. You could do the cut deeper force. Okay, both very easy forces with not much hand movements going on. This one might not be as practical for some people, but it is a good force. So you remember you're going to have the 10 of spades. You have it on top, and you're going to have them cut about a quarter of the deck, turn it face up, and put it on top of the deck. Cut even deeper, turn that over, and place it on top. So now you explain all the cards that are face up. I can see that they're not going to be your selection. The one face down card will be your selection. So you go through, and you hand that to them, and they remember the 10 of spades, and you go on with the trick. That's the beginner way. Now, the intermediate to advanced way, which I always perform, is this way. So deck is shuffled, and I actually spread out the cards, and I show, hey, they're all different. What you're going to do is remember one card you can remember, okay? Doesn't matter what it is. So in this case, let's go with my favorite card, the King of Hearts. So I see the King of Hearts, and you're going to do your favorite force. So I'm going to do my favorite force, the Call Force. Counting that king, or whatever card you have as 1, with your eyes, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember the 2 of spades, because you're going to then, it's up to you how you want to do this. You can either scoop up the deck, get to the 6 of clubs, my bad, and grab all the cards above the 6 of clubs, and move them to the bottom. So now your card is 5th from the top. Or what you can do, so 6 of clubs goes on the bottom, there we go. Or you can show this, and then you can pick up the deck and say, here, let's give it a cut. But essentially you're going to count, so where's that king? You have it, okay, right here in the middle. So we know we have it. So this can be up to yourself, okay? You're going to count that king as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at the 2. So make sure that 2 is on one half. You cut this top half, you cut the bottom half. Now you can do your force. So I do the call force. I'm not going to go over it because I have a whole video on the call. And basically the call itself is the force. Because if you know what card is in what position, you can then call it and have them touch it. So essentially, I push over 3 cards, 2 more, grab that 4th one, line up with that 5th one, grab this 5th one with my fingers, make sure it pops out, have them touch a card. Let's say this one. Going to square up the pack. Now it's on the bottom. You're going to give that card to them. They're going to remember it. And then you can either have it on the table and go through the trick itself, or you can have them place it in and then go through the trick itself. Now, one thing I used to do is that after I memorized the deck, looking back, this didn't make sense. But after I memorized the deck, I said, here, do you want to shuffle it? Now, why would you memorize the deck and then have them mess up that order? So if you can create some justification for giving the deck a few shuffles, go ahead. But essentially, those were the tricks I wanted to show you. All revolve around the one concept of memorizing a deck. So if you want any of those in one video in greater detail, let me know down below with a timestamp or something. Let me know how you like this new format I'm gonna do. I'm thinking in my next video I'll do the trick, the tutorial, and then the tutorial. That didn't make sense. I'm gonna do the performance, the deck review, and then the tutorial to break it up. Yeah, let me know how you like that. Which one was your favorite? Which card is your favorite? That's it, and I will see you next time. Bye.